All right, so are you ready to jump into the world of smart homes? Today we're going to help you prep for a smart home installer job interview. And we've got a secret weapon to help us out. It's called RoleCatcher.
Yeah, RoleCatcher is like having an interview expert right there in your pocket. It has this massive library of career guides and skills guides, but the best part is it's got thousands of interview questions and answers, and it uses AI to give you feedback and help you tailor your answers to different jobs.
That's super cool. So let's pretend I'm sitting across from the hiring manager for this smart home installer job. What's the first question they're going to throw my way?
Probably something like, what got you interested in this field? They want to see if you're genuinely excited about smart home tech, not just applying to any old job.
Right. Makes sense. So how do I show that passion without sounding like I just love playing with gadgets all day?
Well, the key is to connect your interest in tech to something deeper. Like maybe you're fascinated by how smart homes can make life easier for people. Or maybe you're driven by the sustainability aspect of it all, using tech to save energy and stuff. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you figure out what those personal motivators are, and then it'll help you weave them into your answers.
Wow, that's really cool. It's like the AI is helping me tell my own unique smart home story. Okay, but let's get down to brass tacks here. What does a smart home installer actually do on a day-to-day basis?
It's a really interesting mix of technical skills and customer interaction. You're installing and troubleshooting all kinds of systems, lighting, security, HVAC, irrigation. You're basically the architect of a home's connected ecosystem.
That's pretty hands-on. What's the work environment like?
Definitely going to be on your feet a lot. You'll be working in all sorts of places, people's living rooms, cramped crawl spaces. Might have to deal with some extreme temperatures, tight deadlines, and sometimes you'll encounter some unexpected surprises, working in people's homes.
Oh, I bet. Okay, it's a pretty dynamic job. But what about the job market itself? What's the outlook like for smart home installers?
Oh, the industry's booming. Voice assistants, smart security systems, the whole connected living trend. The demand for skilled installers is only going up.
So there's room for growth and even specialization.
Absolutely. RoleCatcher's Career Guide talks about some of these specializations. You could focus on security systems, become a lighting design guru, or even specialize in integrating smart homes with renewable energy sources.
That's awesome. Okay, all of this is sounding really promising, but let's get back to interview prep. What's a common question I should be ready for?
Oh, they almost always ask something like, tell me about a time you had to troubleshoot a technical problem. How did you approach it? They want to see how you think on your feet and if you can solve problems systematically.
So it's not enough to just say, I'm good at fixing things.
Yeah,
I need a good example.
exactly. RoleCatcher has some sample answers to give you ideas, but the best examples come from your own experience. Think about a time you fixed a computer glitch or figured out why your Wi-Fi was down. You could even talk about troubleshooting your car. The key is to walk them through your thought process step by step.
So even if I don't have tons of professional experience, I can still showcase those problem-solving skills.
Exactly. And the AI in RoleCatcher can actually help you tailor your examples to the specific job, highlighting the skills that are most relevant for that smart home installer role.
That is super helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, but what if they dig deeper? Like what if they ask, what are some challenges you anticipate facing as a smart home installer, and how would you overcome them?
They're looking to see if you're aware of the potential obstacles. And they want to know if you can think ahead and be proactive.
So what kind of challenges might they be thinking about? I'm guessing dealing with incompatible devices is a big one.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic. You've got all these different systems, lighting, security, HVAC appliances. Sometimes they just don't want to play nice together.
Right, so how do I show them that I can handle those compatibility issues?
You want to highlight your familiarity with different communication protocols, like Zigbee and Z-Wave, and talk about your experience troubleshooting software glitches. And make sure to mention you're comfortable consulting manufacturer documentation.
So basically, I need to be like a tech detective who can crack the case of the uncooperative smart home devices.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But what about the client side of things? I imagine working with people comes with its own set of challenges.
Oh, for sure. They might ask something like, describe a time you had to explain a complex technical concept to someone who wasn't tech savvy. How did you make sure they understood? This question is all about assessing your communication skills and your patience.
Yeah, this is where those customer service skills come in.
Right. Think about a time you had to explain something technical to a friend or family member. Maybe you helped them set up a new phone or fix their Wi-Fi, or even taught them how to use a new app.
So those everyday tech support moments can actually be valuable for the interview.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher can help you frame those experiences in a way that highlights the skills you need as a smart home installer, like clear communication patience and the ability to build rapport with clients.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm
Mhm.
feeling a lot more confident about those customer-focused questions now. What about the technical side of things? How do I show them I'm up to date on all the latest smart home tech?
They might ask something like, what are some recent advancements in smart home technology that you find interesting? This is your chance to shine. Show them you're a lifelong learner and you're genuinely passionate about this industry.
So besides RoleCatcher's career guide, where else can I go to stay current?
Oh, tons of great resources out there. Industry publications, online forums, manufacturer websites. You can even mention specific advancements, like the role of AI in home automation or the focus on energy efficiency.
So basically, I need to show them that I'm curious and always learning new things.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you work those industry insights into your answers. So you're not just showing off your technical skills, you're also showing them that you understand the bigger picture of smart home technology.
Okay, this is all super helpful. I feel a lot more prepared to tackle those interview questions now.
Yeah.
Any last words of wisdom before we move on?
Just remember, preparation is key. Use RoleCatcher to practice your answers, refine your delivery, and tailor your responses to each specific job. And don't forget to let your enthusiasm shine through.
Great advice. All right, now let's take a quick break and then we'll come back to dive into some more interview scenarios.
All right, welcome back. Let's jump right back into our smart home installer interview prep.
We've covered a lot of ground already, but I know there's still more to unpack. RoleCatcher's interview guide is like a treasure chest of tips and tricks.
It is, and we've got plenty more to explore. Okay, imagine this. The interviewer asks, how do you stay up to date with all the latest smart home tech?
Okay, this is where I get to show off how much of a tech enthusiast I am.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just say I read stuff online. What's a better way to answer that?
You got to be specific. You want to showcase your proactive approach to learning. Mention industry publications you follow, online forums you're active in, maybe even webinars or conferences you attend.
So dropping some names shows that I'm really serious about staying current.
Exactly. You could mention publications like Residential Systems or CE Pro, and if you've taken any manufacturer-specific training courses, definitely highlight those.
That's a good tip.
Yeah.
It shows that I'm not just passively reading stuff online, but actively seeking out knowledge. Okay, so we've talked about staying up to date on the tech, but what about the safety side of things? What kind of question could they ask about that?
They might ask, what are the most important safety considerations when installing smart home systems? This is all about showing them you prioritize safety above all else.
Well, I know electrical safety is super important, making sure all the wiring is properly grounded and insulated. What else should I be thinking about?
Think about placement of devices, like installing smart smoke detectors in the right spots, and making sure devices are securely mounted so they don't fall or get dislodged.
So it's not just about the technical stuff,
Yeah,
but also the real-world implications of my work.
exactly. And RoleCatcher's insights emphasize that interviewers want someone with a holistic understanding of safety, not just someone who's just checking boxes.
Right. It's all about attention to detail.
Oh, speaking of attention to detail, the interviewer might ask you to describe a time when you had to be extremely meticulous in your work to ensure a successful outcome.
Okay, time to channel my inner perfectionist. But how do I choose a good example?
Think about a time when precision was absolutely crucial. Maybe you were assembling a complicated piece of furniture, or following a really detailed recipe, or even coding a website where every single line had to be perfect.
So even if it's not directly related to smart homes, any example that highlights attention to detail could work.
Yeah, the key is to connect your experience to the skills needed for a smart home installer. Things like careful planning, following instructions precisely, and double-checking your work.
I bet RoleCatcher could help me make those connections.
You bet. The AI can analyze your examples and suggest ways to highlight the most relevant skills.
That is so helpful. Okay, now let's talk about working with clients. That's a big part of this job.
Absolutely, a huge part. And interviewers want to see that you have those customer service skills. So they might ask something like, how would you handle a situation where a client is unhappy with a smart home installation?
Oh boy, that sounds tough. How do I show them I can handle a difficult client gracefully and professionally?
It's all about showing empathy, active listening, and a problem-solving mindset. Start by acknowledging their concerns and let them know you understand their frustration.
So even if the client is being unreasonable, I need to stay calm and collected.
Absolutely. Then focus on finding a solution. Ask clarifying questions to understand the issue. Explain the steps you'll take to resolve it. and assure them that you're committed to their satisfaction.
Okay, that sounds like a solid plan. But what if the problem is out of my hands? Like, what if the device itself is faulty?
That's a great point. In that case, you want to show you're resourceful. Explain how you would escalate the issue to the right department or contact the manufacturer for support. The key is to show them you're an advocate for your client and you'll go the extra mile to find a solution.
RoleCatcher probably has some good examples of how to handle tricky client situations.
It does, but remember, the best answers come from your own experience. Think about times you've successfully resolved a customer issue or had a difficult conversation. Those real-life examples will really resonate with the interviewer.
Okay, I'm feeling much more prepared to deal with even the most demanding smart home clients.
And remember, confidence comes from preparation. RoleCatcher's AI can help you practice your answers and get personalized feedback, so you'll walk into that interview feeling confident and ready to shine.
This has been incredibly helpful. I feel much more confident about tackling those interview questions now. Okay, let's move on to the final part of our deep dive. We'll explore even more insightful questions and strategies to help you land that dream job in the exciting world of smart home technology. Welcome back to the final part of our smart home installer interview prep deep dive.
We've covered a lot of ground, but there are still some gems in RoleCatcher's interview guide. These insights could really help you seal the deal.
All right, let's hear them. What about this question? Describe a time you went above and beyond to provide excellent customer service. What are they really getting at with that one?
They want to see that you're not just focused on checking things off a list. They want to know if you genuinely care about creating a great experience for your clients.
Okay, so it's all about going the extra mile.
Exactly. Think about a time when you exceeded expectations. Maybe you solved a really tricky problem or anticipated a client's needs before they even asked. Or maybe you just did something small that made their day.
I'm trying to think of a good example. Does it have to be from a job in the tech industry? Or could I talk about something from a previous job, like when I work in retail?
Oh, absolutely. Even if it's from a different field, the key is to highlight those transferable skills. Things like active listening, communication, problem solving. And RoleCatcher's AI can actually help you tailor those examples to fit the smart home installer role.
That's awesome. It's like the AI is helping me connect the dots between my past experience and this new career path. Okay, so we've talked about customer service, but what about staying up to date on the latest tech? How do I show them I'm committed to continuous learning?
That's a great question. The interviewer might ask you something like, how do you stay informed about industry trends and new product releases?
Okay, so they want to see that I'm a lifelong learner and I'm passionate about staying current. But I don't want to just say, I Google stuff. What are some more specific things I could mention?
You could talk about industry resources that you follow, like trade publications, online forums, or even manufacturer blogs.
Oh, good idea.
And if you listen to any podcasts or watch YouTube channels that focus on smart home tech, those are great to mention too.
Okay, so naming some specific resources shows them I'm serious about staying informed.
Exactly.
What about professional development? Are there any certifications or training programs that would make me a more competitive candidate?
Absolutely. The CDIA certification is highly regarded in the industry, and you could also mention any manufacturer-specific training programs you've completed, especially for popular systems like Control4 or Crestron.
Okay, so those certifications and training programs show that I'm invested in my professional growth.
Exactly. They demonstrate your commitment to excellence and your dedication to staying ahead of the curve.
I like that. Okay, so we've talked about staying up to date on the tech and professional development, but what about cybersecurity? That's a big deal with all these connected devices.
It is a huge deal, and interviewers are definitely going to want to know that you take it seriously.
So what kind of question could they ask about cybersecurity?
They might ask something like, what are some best practices for ensuring the security of smart home networks?
Okay, so they want to see if I understand cybersecurity principles and if I can implement secure installations. I know strong passwords are important. What else should I be thinking about?
Network segmentation is another big one. Separating the smart home network from the main home network can help limit the damage if there's a breach.
Right, that makes sense.
And of course, you should always make sure devices are updated with the latest security patches. You could also mention specific security features to look for in devices like data encryption and two-factor authentication.
So it's all about being proactive and implementing multiple layers of security.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm feeling much more confident about talking about cybersecurity now. Now, I know this might sound silly, but one of the things I get most nervous about is when they ask, do you have any questions for us at the end?
Ah, yes, the dreaded question asking portion of the interview.
It's so easy to blank out.
I know it can be nerve-wracking, but it's actually a great opportunity to show the interviewer that you're genuinely interested in the company and the role.
So what are some good questions I could ask?
Yeah, you want to ask questions that demonstrate your thoughtfulness and your desire to learn more. So avoid anything that could be easily answered with a quick Google search.
Okay, so no asking about their vacation policy or dress code.
Right. Instead, focus on questions that show you've done your research and you're thinking about the bigger picture.
Like what?
You could ask about the company culture, the team dynamics, or the opportunities for professional development. Or you could even ask about the company's vision for the future of smart home technology or their approach to client satisfaction.
Those are great questions. They really show that I'm not just looking for any job, but I'm specifically interested in this company and its mission.
Exactly. Asking thoughtful questions is a powerful way to end the interview on a strong note.
I'm feeling a lot better about that now. Wow, this has been an incredibly helpful deep dive. I feel so much more prepared to tackle those interview questions and land my dream job in the exciting world of smart homes.
That's what we like to hear. And remember, preparation is key. Use RoleCatcher's resources to practice your answers, get personalized feedback, and tailor your responses to specific job roles. And most importantly, let your passion for smart home technology shine through.
That's great advice. And that's a wrap on this episode of The Deep Dive. We hope this has given you the tools and confidence to ace that interview and launch your career in the rapidly growing smart home industry.